If the child is doing something wrong,
Right.
we explain it to them from our behavior. We have to model that. If we are going to be eating from takeout containers 5 days a week, and now we tell our child that, nay, you have to eat turi and dudi.
Yeah.
And then we're saying this is bad behavior. Whole day he wants ketchup and whole day he wants french fries. How can we even say that? This is the mirroring I'm talking about. If you are sitting and eating that green vegetable 7 days a week, that child will do it.
Yeah.
100%. So if you're doing completely opposite things, you're not going to be able to, as you asked, define that boundary. That definition only comes from when we actually practice something. If we get up and go to the temple in the morning and pray, by like 1 year, the child knows. The child will go on his own.
Yeah.
If you don't go and pray, how can you tell the child, you've come home, you've not even gone to the temple, you've not even gone to the mandir?
Yeah.
He's not going to listen. They are not going to listen. So the definition comes from action because children are so young, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, once they grow up, that definition comes from the environment that they're in.
Yeah.
And then it's about explaining and understanding why did they feel that need to break out of it? What were they trying to experience? That's where communication comes into the picture.
Yeah.
You have to communicate with a child, not making the child feel like they've done something wrong. Because see, children are curious. As humans, we are adults also are curious, right?
Yeah.
This curiosity has put you and me together on this table.
True.
We are also curious, and children are also curious. It's like, oh, if I put my hand on that fire, what will happen? But once they'll get that chatka, then they know. So they are curious. Are you going to blame them for their curiosity? Are we going to shout at them for the curiosity? No, we need to explain to them. So that's where communication comes. But when they're younger, it starts with mirroring.
Mirror. Absolutely. और इसी को तो संस्कार भी बोलते हैं.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You just adapt the environment you grow up in.
Yeah.
You know, like, honestly, जैसे हमारे अपने घर में, it's my own son's example. We do Havan every month. So he used to sit very religiously and do this Havan, right? It was amazing that हाथ जोड़ के जैसे आंख बंद करके बैठा. But when he grew up, entered his teens, for whatever reason, his environment, his circumstances, his own mindset, his peer pressure, whatever happened, he became an atheist. Stopped believing in God, right? But believe it or not, few years down the line, he came back. And that's why हमने सुना था संस्कार जो बचपन से होते हैं, आप लौट के आ जाते हैं जब, because उसकी roots इतनी strong हो चुकी होती हैं that you will deviate unless that's a better option.
Yeah.
You will always bounce back to the right sanskar.
Yeah, and exactly. You will bounce back to something that has foundation. Right? It
Which
gives
is
you-
right.
Yeah, which will give you a sense of
Strength.
security.
Yeah.
Some sense of security will come when you're doing something constantly. So you will feel like, okay, this feels nice right now. So it's the curiosity. I will go out there. I'll see what else is out there.
Yeah.
But what you're doing in your head is comparing, trying to see what works for you better, what doesn't work for you better. And then you come back to whatever you feel is right for you.
Yeah.
In this time of my life, this is right for me. I'm going to continue.
Absolutely. Like you said, safe space की जब बात कर रही थी कि अगर बच्चे से कोई गलती हुई है, child should not be scared. That is the safe space. It reminds me of this very beautiful quote I had read years ago about parenting. And it said, your child should very clearly know in their head कि उनकी घर की boundary, उनकी हर mistake के ही बाहर है. Whatever the level of the mistakes, उनके घर की जो boundary है वो उससे 4 कदम आगे है. So they're still within the walls of the love of their house.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a beautiful quote. Like,
It's very interesting when you see that because
yeah.
what we do, right, what we end up doing is that we're so strict onto our children.
Yeah.
We're so, I would say, mean also at times.
Yeah.
We're so strict with our children. We're so mean at times that they assume that the boundary ends at their room.
Yeah.
They were like, after this is all like, it's not safe space. This is the danger space. Like, speaking to my parents is a danger environment. So what we really need to do is stop us also being strict. Like as parents, if you're being strict with your child, it's not about trying to tame them. It's somewhere we feel like we have failed as parents. That's why we're shouting at our child. So it's a very personal fear that's coming out, and anger is just a deep sadness, right? So it's our own fear that's coming out when we shout at our children, and that's something we need to understand and decode again.
That's, I mean, the way you have decoded anger. Anger is, repeat that again.
It's just deep sadness. Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah,
I mean, and when you're putting it out there, it is so true.
yeah.
Actually, anger is very deep sadness. There's really no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's just deep sadness. Which,
It's deep sadness and hurt, actually.
yeah,
right?
just deep sadness, hurt. And
Yeah.
when we shout, we're not really shouting because we want our child to come back home on time or like not eat from out. We're shouting because we have fear within us that we have failed somewhere as being parents, we have failed somewhere as being a mother, we failed somewhere, or like maybe what my mother-in-law said was right. And it's that sense of failure which comes into like you, so you're sad. So you're sad because you failed, and then because you have to also react, it's anger that comes in. So it's all these feelings that are connected.